there have been some big changes over at Monzo for their paid for tiers. Plus and Premium have been axed for new customers. They're still there. If you've already signed up for them, you can carry on, get them if you want. But in their place of 3 new options, again, they are all paid for. These are Extra, Perks, and Max. What I want to take you through here is exactly what you get for each of those tiers and my first reaction, my first thoughts on whether they might be worth a look or not, plus what maybe you should be doing if you're already paying for one of the older tiers, whether you should be changing it up or not. First of all, though, I just want to say that I've never really been a fan of any kind of account which you have to pay for where you don't necessarily get any kind of massive perks back. And that was a problem I already had with the Plus tier. Yes, you got additional features in terms of more in-depth budgeting and categorization, but broadly for £5 a month, which is how much it would cost, I couldn't see the benefits of that. Whereas the premium version, yes, you got travel insurance as well, but there were often better travel insurance options from different banks. And that's, of course, assuming you did need all those different insurance policies put into place. But that's the old one. So let's not focus too much there. Let's talk about what the new ones offer instead and whether that's changed anything at all. Well, Monzo has got quite a handy little table over on its website, which breaks down all the different comparisons. So I'm going to go through that one with you now to help you kind of get a sense of what each one offers. So first of all, there is still that free standard Monzo account. The recent redesign that took place late last year, I'm a big fan of. I think it's made it a lot clearer and possibly one of the simplest and easiest of the new mobile apps to get your head around and use on a daily basis. If I was starting from scratch, I might even be tempted to use it over Starling, but I'm still happy with Starling, so I'm sticking with it. But that isn't changing at all. That's still going to remain free, and no features are being taken away from that. So if you currently have that free tier of Monzo, you're still going to have all those same options. This new one, first new one, Extra, this is effectively pretty similar, almost identical to the Plus tier. There are a couple of small changes, but the main thing is this is going to be cheaper. This is going to be £3 a month. Now, the big thing here, and we'll talk about them in a minute, what you get from each tier, the big thing here is additional app features to help you with your banking, right? No extra perks or insurance. This is basically just better ways to help you understand where your money is coming from. The next level above that, Perks. This one includes everything you get with Extra, everything you get with a standard free Monzo. This is £7 a month. And this one, the big kind of highlights here are you get a free Greggs every single week and you get a free rail card. That's an interesting one. I would say we'll come back to it. And the final tier is Max. This is replacing Premium effectively, because this is the one that comes with those different insurance policies. This one is actually more expensive than Premium. That was £15 a month. This is £17 a month. And there's even an option here to add for another £5 to add extra people on top. Again, we'll come back to that in a minute. So they are the main things. And they have all the basic features that you would expect with Monzo. Now, the next level, Extra, I told you about. What does Extra have? They all have this, okay? But this is the first difference between the plain standard Monzo and Extra, are the ability to have virtual cards. So virtual cards are a lovely little feature. I quite like them. But to pay for them, I'm not sure whether it's worth it. If you don't know what they are, effectively, this is where you can create a digital debit card to spend with as you wish. And basically, if you were worried about security somewhere, you could use it just for that one purchase, whatever it might be. Then you can scrap it and get another one, or you can link it to a particular type of product. But again, you can effectively get this with Chase for free. Starling has some of these as well. So paying for it, I'm not sure is worthwhile. But again, this is what you get. You don't get it with plain Monzo, you get it with the other tiers. You get advanced roundups. Again, I'm not sure you really need this as an extra feature, particularly when you've got things like if this, then that you can connect with Monzo, which does a lot of these things anyway. Effectively, this is where you can double or triple how much money gets put into a separate savings pot every time you spend. Lovely, but again, I wouldn't be paying for it from that extra tier. Custom categories could be quite useful. This is the ability for you to kind of say, oh, actually, no, well, this is a particular type of money I want to keep track of, particularly a bit of spending. I want to know what's going exactly into there. I don't know, let's say you're getting married, you want to put all your money into this wedding categories, you can track all of that. That could be quite useful. There are third-party apps that will let you do this, although they are getting fewer and fewer of these are going to be available that are free. So if you do really want that kind of feature, then maybe it is something to think about here. Automatically move all your spending to a spreadsheet. Okay, if you really want that, you can do that. But again, I'm not sure how it's worth paying money for. And you get also something called Credit Insights, which is basically access to your credit score. But you can get access to your credit score for free through a number of different places. And this one, I believe, is a TransUnion one, which you can get via Credit Karma and even Money Saving Expert now. So again, I don't think anything's extra for £3 a month. This is something worth paying for. Again, all those features do get carried over to the other tiers. Other than that, really nothing changes on that. That's all you're doing. You're getting the same debit card as well, the same Coral debit card. The current Plus one would have like a holographic card. That is going. If you've got it, you can keep using it, but you don't get anything special. So extra £3 a month. I really don't see 36 quid a year why you would do this for these extra features. Don't see what you're going to get by paying that extra for them alone. Now, when it comes to the other extras you get with Perks and Max tier, and those are parts of it, then if you are getting value from Perks and Max, then great. But certainly I don't see the point of having extra. The big difference that I can spot between extra and plus, if you're currently on plus right now, where you might want to swap down to extra, is you don't get with extra that holographic card that I mentioned just now, and you don't get one free cash with deposit. Now, again, if you are putting money into Monzo once a month, then really that's not a big, how often are we doing that anyway? If you don't have that and you've got a bank account at a different bank, which I always suggest you should do anyway, you can pay that money into that other bank and then you can transfer it across. So again, there's ways around that as well. So potentially I would be looking at ditching Plus. If you really like Plus, you just want those features, ditching it in favor of extra, although you kind of get my view on this. I personally wouldn't have play for either Plus or extra. Now, when we get to Perks, this is where it gets slightly more interesting. So you get an increase to your fee-free cash withdrawals abroad every single month. That increases to £600. Now, that probably not going to be too much of a deal breaker. Again, there are other cards you could have if you're going abroad. If you do need to take out more than £200 cash, you could have Chase, Starling, First Direct. There are a number of different options out there. So again, I wouldn't be paying more money just for this feature, but it's worth knowing that it is there if you are deciding to go for it anyway. You also get three fee-free cash deposits with Perks and with Max as well. So again, if you are be putting money in on a regular basis, again, I wouldn't be choosing to pay for it for that because you can work around it. But if you have it, it's worth knowing about that. You also get discounted investment fees with Perks and Max, but again, nothing to be particularly excited about. I'll come back to that savings rate in a minute that they offer, but the other big perks, the big reasons why you want to go for this Perks tier, remember it's £7 every single month, is you get an annual rail card via train line, and you also get a weekly Greggs treat. That weekly Greggs treat can be a medium-sized hot drink, or it can be a sausage roll, or it can be a muffin. Now, a sausage roll is worth £1.20. A medium drink varies depending on what you get, between roughly about £1.50 up to about £2.50. So let's say you're being smart here and you're using that £2 in the middle for a hot drink every single week with that weekly free Greggs treat. 52 of those versus paying £7 a month for a year, you're actually going to be 20 quid better off. So you are saving money with this Perks tier if you are going to buy in a hot drink from Greggs every single week. You throw it in a rail card, buying it without any special offers is 30 quid. Effectively, that's 50 quid you're saving. So that is really exciting, I think, in lots of ways, really, really interesting. But do you need a rail card? If you don't need a rail card, then that obviously knocks down the profit you're going to be making on this particular tier. Plus, are you going to be going to Greggs every week anyway? Do you buy a hot drink every week anyway? Now, if you do, then great. Then again, that can be potentially a nice way of making money, saving some money just on those hot drinks. So your fee is covered by the hot drinks because you'll be spending that money anyway. And then all those extra features we spoke about, the extra things that come with the extra tier, that's a bit annoying, is it? Extra, and all the other bits and pieces, that's great. You're not actually really paying for them because you're paying for the coffees. You would have spent money anyway. So in that point of view, I think the Monzo Perks could be quite interesting. But really think about whether you do that. If you were going to buy a hot drink, would you go to Greggs? Would you instead go to a local cafe? Or actually, do you have a Greggs near you? I mean, chances are you've probably got 3 of them within a 5-minute walk. But factor that in. Don't just assume, well, yeah, absolutely, I'm saving money, because if you weren't going to spend that money in the first place on the Greggs or on the rail card, then that isn't going to make a difference. But if you were, then great. I would also slightly temper it as well. I said I'd given the value of the rail card of 30 quid. I think more realistic is probably about 20, even not 15, because there are another offers throughout the year that can reduce it by a third, if not 50%. So that's still a saving, but maybe not as big as potentially it could be if you were just paying full price for everything. So one more thing I want to talk about with this Perks tier, which you're also going to with Max, which they are selling quite hard, which is one to ignore, I would say. Instant access savings rate. With the normal Monzo and Extra account, you get 4.1%, which isn't bad, but it can be easily beaten. With Perks and Max, you get access to a 4.6% instant access savings rate. Better, but again, you can beat that, and you can beat that not just outside of Monzo, where you can get over 5% of the time we're recording this right now, you can match it within Monzo by opening an account with one of their partner banks. So all you need to do there is open up a savings pot, and you can see it offering 4.6. So again, you don't need to pay anything at all to get 4.6. If you want your savings within Monzo, you don't have to pay any extras to get it at the moment. Obviously, these rates are all variable, they could change, but that's one to think about. So far, we've got the free Monzo, which I think is really good. We've got Extra, which is £3 a month, which I don't think is worth considering. We've got Perks for £7 a month, which I think is definitely worth a look if you are going to get something from Greggs every single week and you are going to get a rail card. And then we've got that last tier, we've got Max. Now, Max has all the things we talked about so far on the free one, on Extra and on Perks. But what it has on top of that is insurance. Now, you get worldwide travel insurance, worldwide phone insurance, and UK and European breakdown cover for £17 a month. You have to be between the ages of 18 and 63, and this has a 3-month minimum period. Now, with all these insurance policies, often you're thinking, £17 a month, is that the best option out there for me? Can I get less than that for those things, the similar kind of coverage? And the answer will be yes. You will be able to get cheaper packaged accounts from the likes of Virgin Money or Nationwide, which will cover you for the entire family rather than just yourself. And they're going to be much, much better options for you. But if we're considering that Perks, the rail card, and the Greggs drink is going to be something you're going to be using every single year, then that effectively could bring down the cost of this travel insurance to £10 a month, 120 quid a year, which for worldwide travel insurance, phone insurance, and UK breakdown cover is actually pretty good. What's interesting here, though, is what's really important. This is how it is slightly different to those accounts you see elsewhere. This is only going to cover you as an individual. It is not for your entire family. If you want your family to be covered, you can pay £5 extra on top of that every single month. That obviously makes it much, much more expensive potentially. But again, depends how you factor in those other costs, those other savings you get if you are going for the rail card and the Greggs stuff every week and the insurance. With those all together, I think it might not be too bad an option for you. But the really important thing with insurance is do check the policy details as well. Do check you're covered for what you need because you might not be covered at all for certain things that are really vital to you. So do have a look at that policy cover. Now, that's what the new ones are. You can sign up for them in the app. You can swap over really easily. Now, if you are already on Plus or Premium, as I said, you can stick with them. There is no change going to be happening to you for now, at least. They're not going to force you off them. But if you do change from those to one of these new tiers, you will not be able to get back onto Plus or Premium. Okay, so do have a think about what you're getting from them. Again, compare those different insurance policies and really be sort of clear about what you're getting from one over the other. Incidentally, metal cards are gone as well. So with the Perks and Max tier, you get a bold coral Perks card or a burnt coral card. They're just different colors, basically, but normal plastic debit cards. The metal ones are gone. So if you already have one of those with Premium, you will be able to keep hold of it and keep using it, even if you change your tier. That's not going to disappear, but there's no way to get new ones anymore, which I think makes sense because you're paying for those cards, effectively, those metal cards in the past. And really, is it worth paying for those? I don't think so. So it's good to see that they're gone and we're not being charged them anymore. So there you go. They are my first thoughts on these new Monzo tiers, exactly what they offer you and whether you should be considering them or not. We will do more in-depth reviews over at becleverwithyourcash.com. So do check those out if you want to find out more about them. My name is Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most from your bank.